Hey, Crop Bros, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you guys here and hope you guys are doing well. We're going to talk today about the Federov versus the, of course, mighty PPSH 41, the drum mag variant. Now, both these weapons are unlocked very late in the Berlin Allies campaign. They're unlocked at level 32 for the Federov and then down here at 26 for the PPSH 41. And I realize most people, or at least many people, do not have these weapons unlocked yet, and that's fine. I figured most people are probably going to unlock them in the future, and a video like this will be good to get out now. And you guys can at least see the Federov, and we can see the stats on it and see how it plays in game and talk about it a little bit as people slowly level up and pick the weapon up, and they can, save their silver orders, because they do both cost a whopping 3 silver orders each, which can be a pretty penny or pretty nickel, I guess, whichever one. Nickels are made of nickel. Anyway, whatever. So to look at the stats here, I don't have fully upgraded Federovs yet, and we're going to be comparing against fully upgraded PPSHs, but the math here, the only thing down here that really matters for the Federov, at least in regards in the comparison to the PPSH, is its damage, right? The upgraded damage here at max rank. They're going to cost the same thing to upgrade, so none of that really matters. So its hit power is going to go up by 10%, which is going to bump it up by like 11.2. Or excuse me, 1.2, so it's going to be at like 11.7 damage, somewhere around that. We can round it off about 12 if we really want to, or just put it at 11.5, whatever you guys want to think about. Basically, if you guys don't already know, 10 damage is your threshold for one-shotting an enemy and bringing them down to the ground. Any damage over 10 is just an increased likelihood of outright killing them, rather than just downing them. So when we look at the Federov, we can see immediately, yes, it does 10.5 damage at 10 meters. Its damage fall off at max rank with its increased damage is probably going to be in the ballpark of maybe 40 meters, 50 meters, somewhere around there. And then after that, it's no longer going to be one-shotting. Other than that, its rate of fire here, 550 to 600, is about half that of the PPSH. Reload time, 3 seconds. I don't know what the PPSH is, but this is a little bit faster than, I think this is twice as fast, the PPSH's reload time. Maybe not. No, it's actually about the same. Never mind. And then it's got much higher recoil on both sides, 57, 18, and a 25 round magazine. It can also be put in semi-auto. Then to look at the mighty PPSH, it's got 6.6 hit power, doing lots of damage there, 1,000 shots per minute, 3.4 seconds reload, and then tiny recoil at 13 and 5. And its biggest advantage is that 71 round magazine. So if we just do the math here, 6.6 damage, firing 1,000 shots per minute, so it's doing about 6.6 thousand damage per minute, right? It's DPS about 6.6 thousand, right? And then the Federov, you can see 550, 10, it does about, ballpark of 5,500, right? So, you can kind of take that how you will. The Federov obviously does a little bit less damage, but that's not a great way to think about this, in my opinion. I think it's much more important to kind of consider the recoil, because yes, in a vacuum, I guess you'd say the PPSH is better, but there's a lot more things to consider about this, right? So let's kind of jump into the pros and cons of each weapon. The most immediate advantage of the Federov is its damage, right? It does much more damage than the PPSH, almost twice as much damage, in fact. And because of that, it means that the Federov is going to excel at medium ranges, because it's not going to have as much damage drop off, because the PPSH at close range is firing twice as fast with half the damage of the Federov, which means it's effectively doing the same amount of damage. While yes, the Federov is going to one-shot an enemy, the PPSH is effectively going to do the same thing, because it's just firing so fast. Like, the Federov has a better first shot capability, but it's not going to matter that much, I think, in most situations. So I think that generally speaking, when it comes to close range combat, the PPSH is pretty hard to beat, with the most important thing being the fact that the PPSH has such a massive magazine. 71 rounds in a magazine is nearly triple that of the Federov, and the Federov just feels like it is constantly running out of ammo. I never feel like I am not reloading this gun whenever I'm in close quarters, because it really just runs out of ammo so damn quick, and it has such a long reload time because of that, right? When these two weapons have nearly the same reload time, and one of them has a third of the ammo capacity, it goes to show that the PPSH is really just that powerful when it comes to mowing down an entire group of enemies in that close quarters, in those close quarters situations, right? Like, there's really not many weapons that you would rather have over the PPSH when it comes to close quarters fighting. But that's not to say that the Fedorov is necessarily a bad gun when it comes to close quarters. In fact, it is still very effective. But again, the Fedorov shines at medium range. It shines whenever you have taken an objective, you've cleared the objective, and now you're shooting at the enemies who are trying to come into the objective. Or if you're defending an objective, at more medium ranges. The PPSH is really just a purely offensive weapon. It's not really good for defending. And I mean, the Soviets don't really defend a whole lot in Berlin, right? But when they do on certain maps, it's really not an effective weapon to be defending with, because you're not good at firing at range, right? And oftentimes when you're defending, you're going to be firing at range as the enemies come to the objective. You don't want to be fighting the enemies on the objective as the defender. You want to kill them before they even get close to it. So in those situations, the Fedorov is really going to do a lot better than the PPSH, right? Those, the medium range situations. Maps like Ministry Garden, maps like Hermann Goering Strasse, maps like the train station, or the Königsplatz, the armored train map, right? All those maps are going to favor the Fedorov because they are typically a little bit longer ranged than their counterparts like, Coral Opera House or the Reich Chancellery maps. Like those maps, you're going to do a lot better with the PPSH because of that massive, massive damage that the weapon can do at close quarters. So guys, that's kind of what it boils down to, more or less. If you were to, if you were to make me choose which weapon to bring, I would probably go with the PPSH. I think the PPSH, while yes, it does not perform well at medium range, it can still do damage at medium range. It can still kill enemies at medium range. It's just not as effective at doing so. And its close range firepower is just so unrivaled that I think that bringing the PPSH is going to net you a lot more than bringing a Fedorov is. But you have multiple assault squads, and you have multiple assaulters in those squads. So I think that your best bet, generally speaking, is probably to bring maybe 2 PPSH squads and then 1 Fedorov squad. That's probably what you're going to, do the best with. Because again, you're not going to have as many situations. Berlin is a very close quarters map. It's typically not very long range. I think there's very few situations I would rather have a Fedorov over a PPSH, but they do exist, and there are, they do pop up. So I think that bringing the Fedorov, you're not losing out on that much. But if you just brought 3 PPSH 41 squads maxed out, I don't think that you would have too many problems, and I don't think you'd be missing too much. So overall here, guys, the PPSH is still the superior weapon. I don't think that you can really go wrong with that. I'm sure German mains are all screaming right now that, of course, that's true. The PPSH is OP or whatever. But there you go, guys. Those are my thoughts on these 2 weapons. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comments, which weapon do you guys prefer? Do you guys agree with me that the Fedorov is generally a little bit worse of a weapon? Or do you guys really like the Fedorov, those of you that have used it? What do you guys prefer out there? And remember, you can also come talk to me, twitch.tv/HeyQuadro. I'd love to have you guys chat with me over there and talk about different weapons in the game and your guys' favorite campaigns, so on and so forth, and just join a great community and hang out. And finally, you can join our community Discord. The link for all that stuff is down below in the description, guys. And without anything else, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.